Attention, please.
And now, it's Cutter's Rockcast.
All right, cool. I'm Cutter, Kaytie,
Hi.
Luke, Ian, Cleopatrick. Thank you guys so much for doing this, man.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you guys.
I think first, it's funny, and I want to start with this quick story. When you guys signed with Sony Red here in the United States, and they, were talking about, hey, we're going to put out this song "Hometown" from this band from Canada. It's been out for a couple of years. It's done really well already. We want to get everybody in the States, accustomed to it. And Kaytie and I were both like, Cleopatrick, huh? We've been listening to them for a couple of years already, actually, and have them on quite a few of our playlists that we just listen to randomly, making food or working out or whatever. So I think we can both say, or I think I can speak for Kaytie when I say congratulations on crossing the border and people finding you in the States.
Oh, man, thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course.
Yeah, it's always exciting. That doesn't happen very often. A lot of times we get introduced to things in different ways. But as music lovers, we're constantly looking for new sounds and styles and just songs, and artists hit us in very different ways. And I remember when I heard Youth for the first time, and I was like, what is this song? Who is this band? And just kind of went down the wormhole of Cleopatrick and have been waiting for more like ever since. And then when Cutter was like, hey, yeah, they just got signed and they're going to radio in the US, and I was like, yeah, of course. Like, how can we not play them? It's Cleopatrick. Yes, please, now. So
Thank you.
It's cool to have you guys here.
It's an honor.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So start at the beginning. Like, let's get an introduction to Cleopatrick. Like, how did you two get this thing going?
Yeah, so the story goes that Ian and I met on the first day of junior kindergarten here in Canada. That means we were 4 years old, and we became best friends and did life together. And at some point, we both started getting interested in music. And one Christmas, we got matching guitars.
I really thought you were going to say tattoos.
Oh, no.
I'm like, weren't you a little young for that?
Yeah, that was much later. But yeah, and then we kind of just came up like playing music together. We played in some bands in high school, and then high school ended and we got to this point where it was like we just wanted to be musicians, but we're still in a town where that's like a pretty daunting thing to take on. So we didn't really know what we were doing. We just decided, okay, I guess we'll start like a band. I guess we won't play covers anymore. We'll write our own songs. And yeah, we just kind of went for it in like the most uninformed way possible, and somehow ended up here talking to you guys today.
Isn't that the best though? I mean, when it happens organically.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely the best.
What kind of covers were you guys doing?
Oh man, we did.
What were some of the fun ones?
Literally everything.
I think like we would go from like, we played like a Jonas Brothers cover. We played Love Bug by the Jonas Brothers, and we go from that like straight into How Many More Times by Zeppelin, or like play like Everlong by the Foo Fighters, and then go into like 4 more. We'd play like part of like a Foo Fighters album, like in order, a couple songs, and then like jump back. We play like some Black Keys or something. We just played like every song that we liked.
You know what though? I mean, it's so obvious in listening to the songs that you have released at this point. It's obvious to see that your influences come from so many different places, and you figured out a way to really merge them in a very unique way, which I personally love. And now I'm sitting here like knowing that you've been working on a new album or working on your first like full length album, just like what the hell is going to come from these guys? Because there's so many sounds, there's so many genres kind of merged together in one place. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think the way things kind of happen for us, it's interesting because like the 2 EPs that are out are like we've documented us learning how to be songwriters, and now everyone can hear it and analyze it. So it's been like really exciting to work on this new album and put so much time and thought into it, knowing that like we can really show people who we are now. Like we're very sure of ourselves now. Whereas like not that we weren't sure with those EPs before, but it was just like, you know, we didn't think anyone was going to hear them, and now we know that people are going to hear this music. So it's like we're really making a statement with these new songs.
With the songs,
Go ahead,
go ahead, Cutter. With the songs that you guys have been writing, I know that in signing with the States and kind of what's been going on in that realm business-wise, you had the opportunity to work with a slew of producers, but chose to work with, I'm assuming, someone that you've worked with multiple, like kind of stayed in your bubble of friends kind of thing. What made you make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, we got really close to working with a handful of different people, and really exciting people that we looked up to, made some of our favorite records. But there was just this moment where the guy that we ended up doing this record with is a 21-year-old friend named Jig Dubé, lives in Ottawa, Ontario, and he's in a band that's in NRM with us, and we hang all the time. And he was showing us this record that they made, and it just sounded like everything that we've been trying to get in the studio but haven't quite made it to yet. And yeah, it was just this epiphany moment. We were all sitting in their basement, and like their album finished playing, and we all kind of sat back, and I was just looking at him, and I was like, fuck, why would we go with some Hollywood dude when you're right here, you're our friend, we can like disagree on things, there's no pressure. Like, so yeah, we made the choice to go with him, and it was the best decision ever, because not only did we get the chance to really self-produce it and like be super hands-on, because there wasn't like the big guy in the room that you just trust every decision he makes, but I know this record's gonna smash, and I know that people are gonna think like, oh, who helped them do that? And the truth is, we just did it with our friends, and I think that'll be really special for some people to see some other bands that can't afford Hollywood producers and appreciate
Was there any pressure from, like, you know, label management, business people to go with a name?
No, there wasn't. We've been really careful at picking who gets to come on this ride with us, and we have a team of people that are like super on board with the way we think about things. So everyone was down for it. I'm sure people were a little bit skeptical, but now that they've heard the mixes, I think it's all good.
Can you imagine like seasoned veteran guy going, oh, this band we signed, and they're going to get their album produced by their friend
Yeah.
in Ottawa.
21.
In a basement.
in his basement.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what's cool though?
Rock is, man. That's what rock is. I love it though.
Yeah. And seeing, like, watching both of your faces light up as you were talking about it just has me like, oh my God, I'm so ready. What is this going to sound like? So, and I hate that question more than anything else, because that's such a generic question. Like, what does the new album sound like? But seriously, what does the new album sound like? Because like, you're talking about your, you know, the EPs that you've released was kind of your learning experience through kind of figuring out your sound. And now this is your first full length, and you got to work with a producer that you know and respect and love, and was able to just kind of already know your sound. And I'm assuming you weren't afraid to say, no, I don't want to do that, or yes, I want to do this. Like, you really put all of your vision into it. So what kind of can we expect?
It sounds like balls being dipped in river water slapped against a brick wall.
I think that might be close. It's like, well, as far as songwriting, I think not a ton has changed. It's just a lot more confident. Like, we just have played enough shows with like big jumping crowds that we feel like, okay, we can trust that our songs are good and like take pride in that. But sonically, it's pretty crazy. We really wanted to try and push some of the boundaries that have been set in stone for rock music for a little while. And so, yeah, it's crazy, fuzzy, like huge drums and huge like hip hop sub bass, with like we were in his basement running full vocal tracks through my pedal board and pressing buttons and turning knobs, and Ian's entire drum kit was run through fuzz pedals and stuff. And it's really like this strange Frankenstein record of different transistors and knobs being spun, but I think it turned out so unique.
There's like this sound and this idea that like we've been talking about for the last 5 years, like since like 2015. And I think like it's been this concept that we've been like trying to grasp for however many years. And I think that this is that, which is super exciting.
Does it make you nervous at all? I mean, like for me personally, I'm gonna like put myself in your position, and in my brain, I'd be sitting there like, oh my God, I finally found this sound and I like nailed it, and I'm so ready for this. Holy shit, what is this gonna be? You know, like how is the world gonna take this kind of a thing? Do you have any of that at all, or are you more like, fuck it, let's go?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, I think people might have their own like notions about what kind of a band we are right now, just because of like, you know, Hometown has done its thing on like a much larger scale than some of our other songs, and I'm sure there's a lot of like more passive, less engaged listeners that might just have like a certain idea of us in our head. And I think when they hear these new songs, it might be a little shocking, but I think it'll be shocking in the best way. I really believe that this is something that we're so proud of already, and I think that'll come through for people, and they'll buy into what we're trying to do with this. And if not, I don't know. I think it's a dope record.
So, okay,
That's all that
I have a
matters.
question. And I know like we can't talk about live music right now because of the world, but I'm gonna talk about live music anyway. When you're doing all that, like that Frankenstein of a record, like you were talking about, right? And you're getting all these different sounds and stuff. Do you think about how you're going to be able to pull that off in a live setting, especially being a two-piece band?
Yeah, we've always been really careful. Like our first EPs, like live off the floor, because we knew like we got to be able to play these at our shitty bar gigs or whatever. We need to be able to pull them off for the 3 people watching. Kind of a weird standard we put on ourselves, but and then the second record we took a couple more chances, and still like we just kind of forced ourselves to learn how to pull things off live. And then with this one, we kind of like, I think we looked at it from the standpoint of like, if something really adds something to a song, and maybe it won't be like 100% possible to do live, we would like really weigh the options. And if it was like just meaningful for like the whole idea of a song or the flow of the record, then we kept it. But I think there's not much that we won't be able to pull off here. I think we yeah, these songs are written with live in mind.
Excellent. The two-piece aspect, sorry, Kaytie.
You're good.
The fact that you guys did that and not go, okay, well, let's get a bass player, let's get another guitar player, a keyboard, or whatever, you know what I mean? The fact that you kept it just the two of you, was that by design or was that by necessity?
It was by necessity, because we actually, when we got out of high school and we were like starting this band, and we were looking for a bass player in our town, but there just wasn't anybody. There was like a guy, he was kind of weird, and so it was like we just decided to like try and do it on our own for a bit. And then that kind of just ended up playing into like the branding and like all these photos we have of us just together as the two of us when we were younger. And it actually like limited the songwriting to a point where I think we got more creative and just became a more unique sounding band, because I was trying to work around not having a bass player, writing all my parts so that it could feel like there is a bass player. And yeah, so then it just started to work out, and we started to like take pride in it. We were like, yeah, we're a two-piece. And then yeah, now I think that it's definitely a cool part of our band is that when you see us live, it's pretty shocking how loud we are, and how many parts should be missing but aren't.
You know, that was something I found really unique about you guys in general, because I mean, like we said, you know, we've been listening to you for 2 years now, 1.5 years, however long at this point, and it wasn't until you were until we got the like Hometown was released as a single to the States, that I actually like researched you at all and was like, well, let me find out a little bit more about the band so I can write something up for the website, you know, whatever, and saw that you were a two-piece, and I was like, how have I been listening for 2 years and didn't recognize that you were just a two-piece? And that's a testament to just how full your music is and how little is missing, that someone who literally listens to music 24/7, 365, didn't even, like, I was just completely unaware. And then I saw it and was like, what? Oh my God, this makes me love them even more now. What the hell? Like, this is nuts. So
Yeah.
like that's a real compliment to what you do, in that there isn't anything missing. And you've really been able to figure out a way to make that full sound, just the two of you, and that's fucking awesome. So kudos.
Very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go into the song "Hometown" a bit, because this particular song, like, obviously it did so well, as far as streams, as far as views, all of that stuff, right? There was a real organic thing about this song that made it a hit song before it ever became a hit song. You know what I mean? What do you think that is about that particular song that did that at such an organic reach, and then to come 2 years later after it was originally put out, and then put it out, and do a new video for it, which you just launched?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the song just came from a really honest place. It was like one of the first times in songwriting that I really felt like I like took a chance. I was almost like scared of how like open I was. Yeah, I think it just resonates with people. I think that there's a lot of feelings in there that everyone's kind of experienced to an extent, and they can find a little piece to resonate with them. And yeah, I don't know if I can analyze it any further than that. It just feels like an incredible amount of luck. But yeah.
Ian, do you have any feelings on it?
What's that?
I said, Ian, do you have any feelings on it?
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Oh no, you're
yeah,
fine.
I don't know. Like the song itself came pretty organically too. Like Luke had been working on some ideas, and I had a tiny little idea, and it kind of just like worked right before we recorded all that. And I think, I don't know, it just I don't know, the realness and the organicness of it as a piece of art, just I think that just shows a lot. And yeah, pretty much what Luke said.
How does it feel to be, I mean, you've got a song that 2 years ago you had a video for, you did a push for, and all of that, and now you're getting ready to do this process in the United States. You get that song released to radio, you end up doing another video for it, which is really cool, by the way. I like the old school footage mixed in with some like old shows and stuff. That's been fun to watch. But you do this whole push, and all of this is happening in the middle of coronavirus and a pandemic, right as you were about to go on tour with Grandson. Like, how do you even navigate through all of that?
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like we almost went back in time or something. Like there's just a glitch in the matrix, and all of a sudden we're just doing it again. But I mean, it's exciting. Like that song, when we put out that song, I mean, we maybe had like 25 friends in mind that we knew would listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
And everything just kind of happened so fast. We didn't have any money to possibly send it to radio or work on any of that kind of like industry stuff. And I think the old video is like a testament to that. Like we shot that video by ourselves, just running around our town being idiots. And it's like, for a long time, I really liked that was the like first impression someone would get of us if they went and looked up that song or that video, because I thought it was a cool contrast between seeing like whatever streams on Spotify or hearing it somewhere, and then going online and seeing like such a candid, strange music video, and realizing that we're not like wearing leather jackets and sunglasses and like rocking out with like cool cars and girls and stuff. It was like, that felt really meaningful to me. But it's nice now to like kind of start over. It feels like we're kind of turning the page on this chapter where we were unprepared,
Mm-hmm.
and moving into a territory where we're very prepared, thanks to all this time in the basement. And I think that when we put out new music next, it'll be like full engine.
That has been, I suppose, the one advantage of the kind of forced quarantine or forced shutdown is the opportunity to sit and really dive in to all of your thoughts, to all of your ideas, to everything, instead of, okay, let's do this now and go.
Yeah.
You know.
Totally.
So how much about the record, the full length, can you tell us? Like, is it
Kaytie,
done?
really, really excited about this album.
I'm
Really.
a fan. Like, I try to hide it so hard, but I'm a fan. Like, I have you guys on so many playlists. I've been digging you for such a long time. And when they first came to us and were like, Cleopatrick, I was like, done, add. I don't care what song it is. Done, do it. I want it. I love them. like I'm a fan. I was gonna see you guys in Milwaukee at the end of March, and then Corona. So like genuinely, I'm like geeking out, pumped about this right now, and just trying to hold back my fangirl while talking to you.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about the record? Like, is it done? Do you have a time frame on a release that you can tell us? What are we allowed to know? Because I want to know it all. And can you tell us off the record? Because I just want to know for myself.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty transparent. It's like we're getting it like mixed now. We're just trying out some different people and working to get like everything sounding the way we want. And I think everyone on the team is hoping we can put out a song on this side of the year. Okay. But in the big picture of things, it's like knowing we can't tour is this huge bummer that like for the longest time when we've been picturing putting out this record, it's like we put it out and we play the most amazing show in some basement that night, and it's like this awesome, meaningful thing. And it's like I don't really want to like skip out on that just because I'm eager to drop the record. So I think we're kind of like playing it by ear, and we're gonna maybe just drip out some songs and videos as we wait for the right opportunity to put the full thing out.
What are some of those conversations that you're having just as far as navigating what may potentially be the new environment of the music industry? You know, we talk about all these bands that have been out and been big, but we don't really talk about newer bands that were getting ready to launch themselves into the mainstream in the middle of coronavirus. And now it's like, you know, everything is, concerts probably aren't coming back until end of 2021 if we're lucky, and 90% of small venues might be closed. And, you know, you're hearing all of these things. It scares me. I can't imagine what it does for a band that's getting ready to really push into the mainstream. So what are some of those conversations that you've had and ways to try to navigate around that?
Yeah, I think we've all been trying to stay positive and really not talk about it too much, because it feels kind of unfair, but then it's also like it's kind of feels wrong to call something like this unfair when there's just so many bigger issues going on in the world. So it kind of just feels like everything's on pause, and we're just focusing on what we can do right now, like the recording and just writing and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not really sure what the future holds, and we've had a couple talks about it, like talking about the drive-in shows and online live streams and stuff, and all that's cool, and I'm sure we'll do stuff like that if it comes to it. But right now that just feels like it takes away such an important part of what makes this band, which is like all these friends and people we've met at the shows and hanging out with them before and after, and that's what was really meaningful for us, and that's why we toured, was just to meet all these people that we've been talking to online. And so yeah, it's such a bummer.
I know. I wasn't trying to, like, man, I just brought the whole house down there.
No,
like,
it's all good.
It's just that like, you know, again, we've talked to artists that have been in the industry for 20 years that are trying to navigate through it, and to hear from a band that was literally on the verge of launching into the mainstream right as this happened, like I'm just so curious as to how, like, what conversations you've had and what you're thinking about, kind of what's in your brain space and that. And I'm with you. Like, we've got a drive-in concert coming up next month, and Cutter and I were talking about it the other day, and I'm like, I mean, I want to go, but like, I've seen them, this band, like 10 times not in a drive-in concert, and they're like, I want to be in a mosh pit and I want to be jumping up and down and like, you know, kissing babies, shaking hands, smacking people, you know, going nuts. And can I do that in my car without breaking something? I don't know. I don't know if I can do that.
Need a
So-
big car.
I think everybody needs to get like really crappy cars so we can just turn it into a demolition derby. That way we're still moshing, you know.
That'd be fun. Paint a whole bunch of random stuff on cars and just crush them.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to this concert because it's so different, because I'm curious, and I'm curious to know like what it's gonna feel like, what's the vibe of the venue gonna be like, you know, what everybody's obviously outside, but there's still a vibe when you go to a concert, when you go to a show, whether it's in a small club, in a basement, at a house party, or a giant arena. There's a specific vibe that room holds, and that's what I miss so much, is feeling that. So I want to feel that again. And my cat just jumped up on me. I'm sorry. So she's annoying. No.
She wants to show her asshole.
Yeah, your kids go back to school and then the cat starts jumping in on these videos. I don't know what to do. But yeah, anyway, so I'm curious about it, but at the same time, it's like, man, I just want to get together with a bunch of people and rock out. So hopefully it turns out and comes back and ran over.
I will say though that I like the live stream aspect of things. Like that's been really cool. There's been so many artists that have done some really unique live streams, and that's been a lot of fun to watch. So if you guys do a live stream, just know you got at least one person that's purchasing a ticket. I'm sure there's more, but you've got at least one.
And that was going to be my next question, because I know you mentioned the possibility of doing those types of things. But how much online streaming stuff have you done, or are you willing to do in the future as we go forward? Because I mean, let's be honest, nobody's touring until 2021 at the very earliest, anyway.
Yeah, we've done a bit. It's just important to us that we can get like the right feeling across. So it'll take some work and some R&D, but I think there are plans to do some stuff like that, and show people that we're still around. We can still play our songs, and we miss everyone.
Yeah. How close are you guys, like in like where you're actually located right now? Like, are you on the same street? Are you guys like next door neighbors? In my head, you guys are like next door neighbors, and still.
Well, I had your roommate. I don't.
Yeah, we're pretty
close.
Yeah, so you can like hop, skip, and jump to each other. Just kind of randomly plug in your houses, and then stand outside and give a concert to the neighborhood. You should do that.
Yeah, that'd be sick. I kind of want to do
what?
Yeah.
I think we just have an idea for a tour.
Yeah.
We're doing block parties. No, I'm serious. Think about it. Everybody has to stay in their yard, right?
That would be really
like
cool.
You can have as many people as you want over. That's on you. The stage is at the end of the block, and it's a big block party. I'm serious.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. You guys come to Green Bay, you've got a place at my place. I can tell you that much. I have an apartment. Cutter has a house, so he would probably work out better. But you've got a place. You can do laundry or something. I don't know.
Just cross that border and come on down.
Yeah, right.
You guys, thank you for some time, and thank you for the introduction to the band and catching us up on everything that's going on in Cleopatrick world. I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. I know when I told Kaytie last week we were going to do this conversation, she was stoked, obviously, but as am I, because you guys have such an interesting sound, and it's so cool to see an actual rock band do it the organic way, instead of being pushed down a face, or it's just another side project or whatever. To see this happen for you guys, it's really cool, man, and I'm really happy for you.
Thank you so much. It was awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much, man.
Appreciate it.
Cutter's Rockcast.
Don't forget to tune in.
Exactly.